I don't even know, man. What do I even say? I'm just absolutely distraught right now. We held the lead for 70 minutes. That Aubameyang goal in the first half, all the way until Chelsea's first goal, 70 minutes. And it's so painful, man. I'm just completely gutted. And do you know what? I'm not even going to blame anyone. Arteta's not to blame. And sometimes you've just got to say, luck wasn't on your side. It just wasn't. Yes, we could have dealt with the goals better, but we also could have scored more. Ultimately, I honestly believe this, that football is, of course, skill. Of course it is. It's about your tactics. It's about just knowledge, experience, whatever. But come on, a lot of sports, including football, it's just luck. There's a lot of luck involved. Okay, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of decisions that get made throughout the 90 minutes, and we just didn't get what we needed today. And it's just impossible to explain. I just can't believe I've sat through that entire game and we've come away with nothing. Nothing. 0 points. We played so well in periods of that game. It was quite honestly, at least the first 20, 25 minutes, our best performance of the season so far. And we were defending so well. So well. And it's just a moment where Leno misses the ball and Jorginho scores. Arguments that Jorginho shouldn't be on the pitch, but come on, it doesn't even matter. Individual errors, man. I just put Leno in my team of the decade as well. No, you can't blame Leno. He's been superb this season. It just happens. If he was 1 inch taller, he would have reached that. And then Tammy Abraham, you've just got to watch it back and look at Mustafi, and you will see how scared Mustafi was in that moment. He was absolutely petrified. And you know what? I don't blame him. Mustafi doesn't play. And when he does play, he's coming up against players like Abraham who are stronger, faster, more match fit. Of course he's going to go backwards. Of course he's going to run away. But it's just not what you need to be doing, right? In that moment of the game where Chelsea have their tails up, they're going for the win. You don't back up like that and allow him to run at you. And then the bit where Abraham actually scores and you just see Mustafi's attempt to stop it. It's... I can't blame the players, though, because that was honestly such an improvement. What a massive difference 2 weeks has made. So, although it's really painful right now, you've got to look on the bright side. You've got to look at the silver linings of these kind of results, these kind of days where it just wasn't your day, and say to yourself, do you know what? It was an improvement. We go again. And that's the truth. We go again. We've lost when maybe we shouldn't have lost today. Let's talk about some of the decisions, because there's going to be a lot of Arsenal fans complaining that Jorginho was still on the pitch. But you're forgetting what happened in the first half with Guendouzi. He should have been sent off as well. He's already on a yellow card and he's yanked back. I think it was Abraham, just maybe on the edge of the box, off the ball. If it goes to VAR, it's potentially a penalty, maybe a free kick. Literally on the line it was. And Guendouzi gets a second yellow and he's off. And that's game over. As far as I'm concerned, Chelsea turn the game around and they win if we're down to 10 men. So before you go crazy about Jorginho's second yellow, which, yes, I agree. He's yanked... Who was it? Was it Guendouzi? I think it might have been, actually. He yanks Guendouzi down. Nothing. In fact, Lacazette complains to the referee and he gets a yellow card for dissent, I guess. Both decisions, terrible. The referee in general was just woeful today. More so for Arsenal decisions, but he got lots of Chelsea decisions wrong as well. And when I say that, I mean decisions in favour of Chelsea that didn't go their way, and vice versa. It wasn't a good performance. And yes, Jorginho shouldn't have been on the pitch. Yes, he shouldn't have been there to score that goal. But what a stroke of genius by Lampard to bring Jorginho on when they were getting absolutely hammered by Arsenal in that first half. They were playing three at the back and it just wasn't working. I've heard a lot of Chelsea fans saying they don't like the three at the back. They don't think it works. They went to a four at the back formation. Jorginho came in and they looked like a much better side. And the majority of the second half, you could say, Chelsea deserved to at least score. They were dominating certain time patches. It just sucks, man. It really sucks. I hate football sometimes. I hate how I feel after this. This game has instantly ruined my whole weekend. My whole weekend is a write-off now. We've just had Christmas. I had a lovely time with my family. And thanks, Arsenal, for completely ruining my mood. And it's pathetic, really, isn't it? It's actually pathetic how invested we feel with these teams, you know, and when your team loses, how bad it makes you feel. I shouldn't be this upset, but I just am. I'm absolutely fuming inside right now. Like, obviously, I might be coming across as quite calm and collected, but inside right now, there is turmoil, and I want to break someone's neck. I'm just fuming. I cannot believe that we've not won this game. You need some luck, and we just didn't have it. We just didn't have it. In terms of the lineup, again, we've gone with Nelson instead of Pepe on that right wing, which I don't actually think was a bad decision today. It worked out in a way. Nelson, I thought, had a much better game today than he has done in previous games. I don't know if he should be on the pitch ahead of Pepe, but based off that performance, I can at least see why Arteta's gone with Nelson. Maybe Nelson's been doing really well in training and he shows a bit of hunger and he's a bit more of a raw talent maybe. No, he's not. Pepe's a miles better player, but I kind of get it. I do understand. But Pepe, yeah, £72 million. And that is now the third manager this season to seemingly not rate him that highly. He came on for the final 5 minutes, didn't do anything, but what can you expect with 5 minutes of play when you've gone 2-1 down? I mean, not much really. So, a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to have seen Aubameyang up front and maybe Martinelli out on that left side. I don't think Lacazette is offering much at the moment. Didn't really do anything too crazy in this game. And of course, Aubameyang got his goal, which was a very nice goal. You can just see with the movement behind the defender, he's just in the right place at the right time. And that is skill and a bit of luck at the same time. You know, it's lucky that maybe the Chelsea defence just kind of switched off for a moment, but it was skill to get in that position. He's a true goal poacher, and I love that about Aubameyang. Is that luck or is that just skill? Or is it just Chelsea ineptitude, the defender just not thinking about it? I don't know. I'm lost for words right now. I really am. I think my man of the match will go to... I want to say Maitland-Niles, but it's close between him and David Luiz. And quite honestly, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but David Luiz was unbelievable today. I think he's been a very underwhelming signing for us. You know what you're getting into when you bring in a player like David Luiz. You're getting a player that's technically very good and experienced, but of course there's a mistake in him. And when you partner that with someone who shouldn't be playing at left back in Saka, the poor kid did so well though. He's done very well in that position, but he's not a wing back. He's not defensive minded at all, okay? But he's done a good job. But put that next to David Luiz, and then you have Mustafi coming on because Chambers has picked up an injury. And by the way, I really, really hope it's not a serious injury. The last thing we need right now is more defensive problems. But Mustafi comes on. Him and David Luiz, I mean, you're just asking for trouble. And then at right back, you've got Maitland-Niles, and he's not a wing back. He's not a defensive player. So when you look at it on paper, of course there was going to be issues. Of course. You know, you've got Guendouzi screening the back four with Torreira. That's also problematic. Guendouzi, talented player, of course, but he's just a kid. And he's just so easily gettable. You know, he's just a kid. He isn't even fully grown yet. I mean, the guy looks to be a very good player for the future, but when you're relying on him and Torreira to do all of the defensive work in front of the defenders, you're asking for trouble. And that brings me on to Granit Xhaka really quick, because he's missed the match through illness today. I think we all know what's going on there. We've heard the reports that Hertha Berlin have made a 35 million euro bid, which has not been accepted, apparently. There's two things I've heard. One is that Arteta really doesn't want him to go and that he rates him highly. And two, Arsenal want more money. Unbelievable. Imagine getting off 35 million euros for a player that quite literally isn't worth that anymore. Well, it's hard to say. Today's market is mad. but I don't rate Xhaka as a 40 million euro player, which is apparently what we're holding out for. I think we may regret letting him go, but also it might be a blessing in disguise. Maybe we do get someone else in that can do his job but better. Talks are that we're going for Rabiot on loan from Juventus, maybe with an option to buy in there, who knows? But Rabiot, kind of similar to Xhaka, I guess. Maybe that's the thought process there. I don't know, but you could actually tell we missed Xhaka a little bit tonight. Someone that can control the game with the ball. But Chelsea ended up having more possession, and in that scenario, you don't really want Granit Xhaka in your team because his lack of brains and mobility can really be a detriment to your defence. It really can be. So we'll see what happens with Xhaka, but I've got a feeling that we won't see him in an Arsenal shirt again. On the left, we went with Aubameyang, and he was pretty much a left midfielder today. He got his goal, but quite honestly, he was doing more defensive work than he was attacking. Quite unreal, to be honest. On the right, we of course had Nelson. In behind Lacazette up top, we had Mesut Ozil, who I thought had a very good game as well. Mesut definitely seems to be more accustomed to this type of play, this type of formation, system, tactics that Mikel Arteta is installing. I think Mesut Ozil will thrive under Mikel Arteta, but it's just a case of actually getting him involved, and making sure that he's in that pocket behind the strikers and getting the passes out. It's difficult though, because you're playing against a Chelsea team that away from home are seemingly much more confident than they are at home. They've been struggling at home this season. And when they're away from home, they tend to score a lot of goals. And they have a lot of the ball. So we weren't really able to express ourselves as much as maybe we could have outside of the first 30 minutes or so, which honestly go down as the best 20 to 30 minutes of the season so far, in my opinion. But quite honestly, when you look at the stats, you've got to give Chelsea credit. They were in the game despite the first 30 minutes. And the changing tactics was really a very good call from Lampard, who will be a very good manager. He already is, clearly, a very clever, intelligent man and doing a very good job. So you got to give it to them. It's just incredibly painful. That's 2 games now with Arteta and still no win. We had, one win under Freddie and barely any wins under Unai Emery in his last few games. We haven't won at home since, the beginning of October? I mean, that's shocking. We've barely won any games since October. And it's becoming a feeling that I can't remember. I can't remember what it's like to win. The game against West Ham is the only one that's in my head right now where I actually felt really good after a game. Every other time I've just felt deflated, Oh, it's so difficult, isn't it? It really is. I think it's pretty obvious that we need work on our defence. The January transfer window, as I've said, is absolutely massive. It really is. Apparently, we're in for Boateng from Bayern, and another central defender should be coming in, maybe on loan. I don't know. Rabiot as well linked for a midfield signing, but is it too late this season? This loss really, really has hurt us. I was there in the 75th minute thinking, my God, this win is going to be huge. This is actually massive. We could get back into that top 6. We can maybe challenge the top 4 if we keep winning games from here. But this loss has just put a massive gap, even bigger gap now between us and Chelsea. And they've got a gap between 5th now, and it's seemingly impossible. I don't know if it can be done. I really doubt it. Even with signings coming in January, that's not going to be an instant fix. We're not signing Van Dijk. We're not signing Ramos. We're not signing defenders that will instantly change this team. But we need to do something. And I feel for Arteta because it's going to be a really, really tough rest of the season based off this. Because we can perform as well as we like. It's just going to be errors. Just mistakes that cost us games. And it's depressing. It really is. I think I'm going to stop there. I could go on for hours and hours just talking about how sad I am. It really, really is painful, but that's what it is like. Football is like this. You go through periods, sometimes extended periods, where nothing goes your way. We honestly just need a bit of luck. We really do. We need a little bit of luck and a couple of wins in a row, and we will turn things around. We have to.